Meanwhile, Russia has decided to remove the Taliban from the terror list. According to the Russian state news agency, Russia's foreign ministry has said on Friday that a decision to remove the Taliban from a list of terrorist organizations had been taken at the highest level. President Putin's special representative on Afghanistan, Zamir Kabulov, was quoted as saying that the decision needs to be followed up with various legal procedures in order to make it a reality. In the month of July, Putin had said that Russia considered Afghanistan's Taliban movement an ally in the fight against terrorism. Since it seized power in Afghanistan in August 2021 and following the withdrawal of the US-led forces, Russia has been slowly building ties with the Taliban. To be clear, it is still officially outlawed in Russia. No country has formally recognized the Taliban as the country's legitimate leadership, although China and the UAE have accepted its ambassadors. Russia added the Taliban to its list of terrorist organizations in 2003. Removing it would be an important step by Moscow towards normalizing ties with Afghanistan. The Taliban's acting foreign minister, Amir Khan Muttaqi, said in a speech in Moscow that recent decisions by Kazakhstan and Kyrgyzstan to remove the former insurgents from a list of banned groups was a welcome step. In fact, Muttaqi said, and I'm quoting here, "We also appreciate the positive remarks by the high-ranking officials of the Russian Federation in this regard and hope to see more effective steps soon," quote unquote. And speaking at a meeting in Moscow with Muttaqi and representatives of neighboring countries, the Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said Moscow was convinced of the need to maintain pragmatic dialogue with the current Afghanistan government. He said, and I'm quoting here, "It is obvious that it is impossible to solve problems or even discuss an Afghan settlement without Kabul. Moscow will continue its course on developing political, trade, and economic ties with Kabul," quote unquote. Now, while he did not mention the Taliban by name, he praised the current Afghan leadership for its efforts to curb drug production and fight the Taliban's adversary, Islamic State, which is also, remember, outlawed in Russia. Muttaqi said that countries in the region should cooperate against the Islamic State, which he said had established training centers outside Afghanistan. Lavrov said the United States should return confiscated assets to Afghanistan and the West should acknowledge responsibility for the post-conflict reconstruction of the country. And what's more, Lavrov has also called for an increase in humanitarian aid to Afghanistan and said that Russia would keep sending it food and essential goods. This development is huge. Remember, Russia has had a troubled history in Afghanistan, where the Soviet army invaded in 1979 to support a pro-Moscow government. Russia withdrew 10 years later after sustaining heavy casualties at the hands of the fighters. Russia and its post-Soviet neighbors have suffered recurrent attacks from Islamist militant groups linked to Afghanistan, most recently in March, when 145 people were killed in an attack claimed by the Islamic State at a concert hall near Moscow. To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.